What's up, everyone? My name's Kamahl. Welcome to another video. This is going to be, I guess, a first look glimpse example showing off of my Poison Blade Vortex work in progress. Just kind of a work in progress of the build currently. I'm up to clearing T4, Tier 5 pretty easily. I haven't pushed anything further. I just made a couple realizations with the build today that we'll talk about later on that it's causing me to go back and farm some low-level areas, some Tier 1 maps. Depending on how quick I can burn through the Tier 1s, I might end up farming Harbor Bridge, but I don't know if which one would be better, Harbor Bridge or Blood Aqueducts. I keep hearing Harbor Bridge, but honestly, personally, I feel like Blood Aqueducts. That's for another video. Let's try to stick with this. So, Poison Blade Vortex Assassin. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. Delirium is super good. This build is pretty strong. There's a lot of places I would like to go with it. In order to do so, I'm gonna need a few more things. But I'm having a lot of fun. I'm burning through content pretty quickly, and I guess we'll just start out by looking at the gear. So, none of this gear is super important. The chest, you guys have seen me use this chest on many of my builds before. I love this piece of armor. I don't know what it is about it. I really enjoy it. It's Cherubim's Maleficence and Maleficence. I can't talk apparently. It's this one. It's this armor. It's really good. It's got a decent amount of life, and it increases the chaos damage. More chaos damage, poisonous chaos damage, it's more damage. The mask, just something that I found. It's got a lot of life on it, had the resistance that I need, and I went ahead and threw some more evasion on it because that was really all I had. I need to throw armors, scraps on it, but I just haven't got around to it. By the way, if you guys like this video, like the video, subscribe. I still have the goal of trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by June. I wanted to. It's because of the massive break that I did take. It's going to be more difficult to do, but that's fine. We have this dagger here, which crit chance, damage over time, chaos damage, some cold resistance, which is poison on hit, which is doesn't matter, but the damage with poison, that's what matters. Just some rings that add, I crafted it with strength because I needed strength, and then it's got life, resistances. Main thing, always, if you guys are, if you happen to be watching my videos because you're a new player, and that's kind of, I mean, we're mostly on PlayStation, so we're mostly pretty new. Resistances and whatever your defense type is, you need to be focusing super heavy on those. You gotta get those up. Gotta get those numbers up. As you can see, everything's got resistances. It's got life. It's important. It is very, very important. If you are dead, you can't kill anything. And this is all just stuff that I found. The shield I bought because of the increased area of effect. Very nice. 45 spell damage. Okay. And then I bought the chest piece because, well, I wanted this specific chest piece, and the chest piece that I was using was a 5-link that I picked up at like level 30, and that just was not cutting it for maps. So that's the gear. I guess we can go over the different buffs that I'm currently using. Right now, I'm using a rank 1 precision, simply for the increased critical strike. Now, the accuracy rating, I don't know if it applies to Blade Vortex or not. It doesn't matter. The main reason that I'm going for this is just for that nice little critical strike chance for basically no mana. I mean, it's 22 mana. That's less than a cost of casting a spell generally. Withering Step, super important. Withering Step, it does remove any elusive buff that you have. So elusive is a buff that it starts out big and then it gets smaller. As it gets smaller, you get less elusive. So it wipes out the elusive buff that you may already have on. Let's say if it's activated by, oh, I don't know, Mistwalker. And it allows you to put on a full fresh one. Super good, super good. Herald of Agony, really good. On our Blade Vortex, we have Unleash, which causes us to, on one cast of Blade Vortex, throw out multiple blades. It's an ease of life. Unbound Ailments, Blade Vortex with Vol Blade Vortex. You want to get Vol Blade Vortex. It's really important. Void Manipulation and Deadly Ailments. Most of these will go without say. Plague Bear with increased AoE. Believe it or not, this is one of the biggest purposes or points in this build is Plague Bear. You know, a lot of these builds, people call them Poison Blade Vortex builds. It's a Plague Bear build. Let's be real. Let's call it what it is. In my shield, I have Steel Skin capped out at rank 10 with cast when damage taken at rank 1. And then in the boots, we have Flesh and Stone. The stone, sand, so stone. It adds a very nice defensive layer, blinding all the enemies that are close. We have Blasphemy with Assassin's Mark. This allows us to get power charges, which increases our critical strike chance. Pretty important in this build. Having the amount of crit that we do, if we had more, it would be better, obviously, but with the amount of crit that this build is already capable of acquiring and getting, it's a really nice defensive layer because, once again, with Mistwalker, which I'll show you later, the more crit that you have, the more chance you have of being elusive and being able to kind of get around shit. And then in our gloves, we have faster attacks, shield charge, fortify, and mana leech. Now, I have had people suggest that I use a different dash, and I've thought about it. I used to run dash and shield charge. Honestly, though, I would get too confused with how many buttons there are already, and I know that might sound weird or silly to say, but I'm getting older, guys. My brain doesn't work that way no more. Like, my fingers start to fuck up, so I gotta have pretty so I keep shield charge. It allows me to buff myself and also sprint through the enemies. You'll see I do have 4,000 life. I do have 75 on all my res, with the exception, rather, of Chaos. Chaos isn't really as important. You'll see that I am level 84, and this is the skill tree. First thing you're going to want to do, coordination. I mean, you'll see in here, it's very basic. The skill trees are very, very, very standard, I guess. You're coming over here to get AoE and life, coming down here to get life. We're going to try to fill out this node. The thing that I was saying earlier that I really need to farm for are the cluster jewels. So with these poison builds, there's a lot of really, really nice cluster jewels that have come out recently. And I'm just showing you the build right now. There's some really, really nice cluster jewels that really add some nice fun stuff. So this one, as you'll see, it adds Touch of Cruelty and Unspeakable Gifts. So each of these small nodes in this gem, I need to replace it with a medium node, but I'll explain you why when I get over to showing you the medium node. Each of these small node, or the medium cluster, each of these small nodes that you invest a point into with the large cluster jewel, at least this specific one, is going to give you 12% increased chaos damage. This node right here, Touch of Cruelty, very nice. Chaos skills have a 10% chance to hinder enemies on hit, with 30% reduced movement speed, and enemies hinders take 10% increased chaos damage. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have not looked up if this affects poison because I know that Blade Vortex is not a chaos skill, but it is a skill that does chaos damage. So to be completely honest, this could be a complete waste of of a node for me, but that's fine, because this is the main thing that I'm going for. Unspeakable Gifts. Enemies you kill have a 10% chance to explode, dealing a quarter of their maximum life as chaos damage. That's pretty good. So I have that one, and then I have this other jewel over here. Now this is another large jewel that I have, and in this large jewel we have Unholy Grace, Wicked Pal, and then a jewel socket. So once again, 12% chaos damage. Unholy Grace is going to give us 30% increased chaos damage, and then 10% increased attack and cast speed. Really nice, really nice. Not only attack speed, but also cast speed. Super, super good. That's going to help us with both the attack animation for shield charge, because with everything there's an attack animation before the attack actually happens, so it'll help you get through that initial reaction and then actually shield charge better. And then over here with Wicked Pal, 35% increased chaos damage and 20% increased skill effect duration, which is nice. You know, poison. This is why we want mediums, though. So in this medium gem, each of the small nodes, which there's only a couple, it gives you plus 5% chaos damage over time multiplier. That 5% multiplier is more damage in poison. Like, it increases your poison damage more than this 12% increased chaos damage. So I want more of these medium ones, because I could save probably a lot. Like, I could manipulate the build, move some things around to get myself more damage over time, and also still having, you know, the same. I've got to go and farm the pieces. But 20% increased damage with ailments. Damaging ailments deal damage 10% faster. What? That's insane. And then this one over here, it's good. So I mean, it's there. But 8% increased cast speed, which is nice. Spell skills have 10% increased damage over time multiplier for poison, which is great. And then 20% chance to poison on hit with spell damage. Now, I have 100%, 120% chance to poison. So I think, does that actually affect that? Okay, now it's at 100. It's oh, I'm silly. I was looking at the wrong thing. So I have 120 with this. I take off the dagger, so that does actually affect it. So you can actually, sorry, now I'm just kind of in my brain. So I had 100% chance, but when I put the node into Septic Spells, it brought it up to 120. I literally got that medium cluster node as I was going to sleep last night. Like, I put it in and I was super happy, and then I went to sleep, and I haven't really done much today. But that's the build. That's the damage. Now I guess I'll just show you a real quick map, and then I'll upload the video, and you guys will be able to see this. And you'll notice that the playstyle for this build, it's, like I said earlier, it's more of a Plague Bearer build. It's Poison Blade Vortex, of course, but your big, chunky clear and big damage output is going to be coming from your Plague Bearer. So, Plague Bearer, you stack up chaos damage, and then you release it, and that chaos damage kills everything.
You have experienced no real pain.
I think one of my favorite things about this build is that 10% chance on enemies to explode and deal a quarter of their life. It's insane. So you see Plague Bear, it went off, everything died, and then it's already full again. Turn it back on, start sprinting through. Now, once again, this is a tier 1 map. This build is nowhere near being where it needs to be, but it is so fun with where it's at right now. Let me take the boss real quick. That time didn't even use what is it? The Plague Bear. You know, just Plague Bear is nice, yes, but it's not needed. Oh no, 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 get back in there. See if we can finish out this lot. No, there's not enough. I was gonna try to finish out the last one, but there wasn't enough. There it is. Personally, this is my favorite map to farm for the Delirium encounters. Super quick, super easy, painless, just burn through them. This is seriously like, is that Crippling Grief again? This is the 4th one I've gotten this morning. I keep getting Crippling Grief, and it's funny, not really funny, it's kind of insane. So Kaif, the last one he needs is Crippling Grief, and it's the one that I keep fucking getting. We'll do this Cassia trial. Or trial. Cassia thing. Easy. So there you have it. This is the Blade Vortex build. Like I said, it's really fun, really fast. I never showed you my Ascendancy. You know, I have a bad habit of doing that. So, I have not done my 4th lab. On my first lab, I got this one, critical strike, or damage over time, and critical strike chance. And then I got Noxus Strike. Poison multiplier, poison on hit, damage with poison, poison duration, all good shit. Then we go with this one, once again, damage over time and critical strike chance. And then we get Toxic Delivery. Toxic Delivery, 10% reduced damage taken from damage over time. Poisons you inflict with critical strikes deal 50% more damage. 0.4% 2 critical strike chance per poison afflicting an enemy, up to 2%, and gain 20% of physical damage as extra chaos damage against poison enemies. That's fucking good. And then with our last one, or not our last one, but our 3rd one, our Merc Lab, we went with this one, which is our movement speed and critical strike chance, as well as Mistwalker. So Mistwalker, 50% chance to gain an elusive, the elusive buff on a critical strike. 15% increased attack and cast speed while elusive, 8% reduced damage taken while elusive, 25% increased elusive effect, and no extra critical strike damage while elusive. Elusive initially grants 15% chance to dodge spell or attack hits and 30% increased movement speed, and then the buff over time does reduce, like I had explained earlier. Once it does hit 0, then you have the ability to regain elusive, but with the exception of Withering Step, there's no way to, at least that I'm aware of, to negate your elusive buff and to cast a new one. So it's generally just wait for the buff to go away and then another one will happen. Unless you have Withering Step, then you can force cast it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Kind of a long video, just hit 20 minutes. Yeah, I guess I'm out. Peace.